Welcome to the Reunion Podcast, where traction, nourishment, and thriving in business and life come full circle. We're your hosts, the founders of Reunion, and each week we're going to sit down with incredible entrepreneurs from our community to shine a light on their stories, the bold moves that create real traction, and the raw truth behind their challenges and wins. If you're ready to be inspired, grow alongside a powerful network, and see what it really takes to thrive, you're in the right place. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, head to thrivewithreunion.com to join the movement. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. All the links are in the show notes. Now let's dive in. Welcome to today's podcast episode. We have our good friend and special guest, Michelle Lockheart, with us today with More Energy. And we're so excited to have you here today. So we're excited to get to know her a little bit.
And I am so excited for this one. I met Michelle about 5 years ago, and it was magic the minute it happened. And we met at a place where it was a foundation, and it is not odd that we met at a foundation, because if I'm looking at her whole life, she has been very, very supportive of foundations. She specifically looks for those foundations that are blessing people's lives. I know this for a fact to the core of who she is, and I'll get a little bit teary when I think about this, is that her whole goal in life, her whole intent, is to make people's lives better. And it's been a joy to walk hand in hand with her, literally, for the last 5 years. I'm excited for her to talk about how she got to where she is. I'm also really excited to have her talk about what's coming up next. But to start off with, I'm just going to preface this by saying Michelle and I have worked together for the last 5 years. The minute I met her, I was like, I don't care what happens right now in my life, but I want to be next to her. And we have literally been all over the world with amazing people. And her intent is to create an opportunity where magic can happen. And so I'm excited for her to express how she got to this place. So, Michelle, how did you get here?
Well, first of all, thanks for that, because Diana's amazing. When we met, it was instant laughing, instant. Let's get together and do something fun and exciting and big. And so, I owe a lot of my success to Diana too. So, I'm super excited to be here. So, how did I get here? Well, it's been 60 years in the coming. I've been working on it my whole life.
Good thing you're only 50.
I know, 10 years ahead. But no, I think that my earliest desire that I remember, I was 13 years old. I was in a PE and health class. I had a teacher in my PE and health class that just everything she did was magic to me. And she was this little feisty, redheaded woman who was, 15 ounces, and she would just barrel through that school and boom, 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 everybody, boom, 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 boom. But she had a heart that was just huge. And she just absolutely loved the girls that she had in her PE and her health class. And she very much focused on making sure that we felt good about ourselves. And she did it in a really regimented way, but she just made a huge impact on me. And one day in our health class, she brought in the EMTs, who one were cute, but two, they taught us how to do CPR. And we all got CPR certified. And I knew at that moment when I was doing CPR on a mannequin that I wanted to be there when somebody needed it in real life. Mm-hmm. And that's what put me on the path of nursing. And I have this thing that it's like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Sometimes that's gotten me in trouble, but mostly I get to where I want to go. And so at 15, I was like, oh, I have to do these classes before I get into nursing school. And I researched, what are those classes? Oh, organic chemistry, no problem. I'll just sign up at the local college and take that. So at 15, I started going to night school at the college. Chemistry was my first class. I got a C. I didn't understand any of it. I hadn't even taken high school chemistry because I wasn't even in high school. I had barely started high school. But I just continued to go. And so when I graduated from high school, I only had one more year left in my nursing program.
Wow.
And
That's
so,
impressive.
when I graduated
smart
from
cookie.
nursing, I wasn't old enough to dispense narcotics. And so I had to have a narcotics buddy until I was 21 years old. And so they'd have to assign me someone who could give the narcotics to my patients. But I could be trusted with life support and with doing CPR and giving meds that restart hearts, but I couldn't give a pain pill. But that led me into ICU, ER, trauma. I did that for 25 years. Absolutely loved it. I loved that high adrenaline. I loved being there emotionally and physically for people when they were in their most dire need. And I also, it was fulfilling to me to be there for the families who had lost their loved one in a very tragic way, to just have someone who could just be that someone to just sit there with them and be in that with them. And I didn't love being in the situation where people were dying in such horrific ways, but I did feel like that somebody needed to be there, and I could be that someone. And so I did that for about 25 years, and then I transitioned into education, and I started writing programs, and I built up. I lived in Virginia, and I started building a curriculum for the state for GED bridges into healthcare, and started writing healthcare programs so that we could train more MAs and CNAs and phlebotomists and all of those kind of people. And that was really fulfilling, and I loved that. But then my husband, he was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma. And so for a year I took care of him, and then he finally passed away 13 months after his diagnosis. And then the next month I empty nested. I had 4 kids. I have 4 kids. And my youngest graduated from high school a month after he passed away. And I was in Virginia. All my kids were in Utah for school. And my family's Utah and Idaho. And I was sitting in my home, and I'm like, okay, I had this path into my future, and a great big huge roadblock just came down, and there's no way to go down that road anymore. That future involved my husband, and he's no longer here, so that future is no longer available to me. I mean, no matter how much I want it, it's gone. Mm-hmm. And so I was at this crossroads where it's like, okay, now what? Now what do I do? I didn't want to go back to nursing. I didn't feel like I could really deal with death and dying when I had just lost my own husband. I didn't want to stay in Virginia. I was by myself there.
I love that on the high stress charts, it always says the most stressful moments in your life: death, moving, and empty nesting.
Yeah, and I did all of them.
All of it at one time.
Yeah, so they also say, after a loved one dies, especially a spouse, don't make any major decisions for a year. So in the first 6 weeks, I bought a new house in Utah. I enrolled in school. I was preparing to move. It took me about 4 months to actually sell my house and move all my stuff. But in the first year, I graduated from my new program. I did so much stuff in that first year. And really, as I look back on it, when I was in the middle of it, I thought I I was adjusting well, and what I was really doing was running away from the feelings. I was like, if I can jam pack every single day and run constantly, then I won't have time to sit down and think about what happened and where I'm at.
How old were you at that time?
I was 49 when he passed away, and I knew I had a whole year to prepare. They gave us a 99% chance that he was going to die. They gave us 3 months. We got 13. And so I had the whole year to prepare, but you're never
really prepared, right?
Right.
Just
Right. You're just not prepared. I mean, you're preparing physically. You know, we're going through all the passwords and getting all of the paperwork in order and working on, he was a dentist, so we were setting up the cell of his practice and all that stuff. That all went slick. But there's just no way to prepare emotionally or mentally. Yeah,
No,
there's
you can't.
just no way. So for that first year, in my mind, I was like, I was doing great.
you were killing it.
I was. And everybody around me is like, she's falling apart. I'm like, well, and the fact that I lost about 80 pounds just, and because I was working out and I was going, because if I had time, I needed to be doing something. So I was in the gym. It's like, oh, I've got 2 hours. I can go in the gym for 2 hours. Because I didn't want to stop. And I kind of felt like if I stop, I'm not going to start moving again.
Yeah, you might crash.
I'm just going to lay in my bed and I'll never get out again.
And there are examples of that.
Yeah.
Which is why the fear exists.
Right, right. So I went to the Institute of Functional Medicine. I decided that I really wanted to help people to not get into those situations where they were in emergent, they weren't having heart attacks, they weren't having strokes, they weren't, I was helping them to make the most of their lives. My motto has always, my intent, like you said, has always been to help people live the good life. I feel like I don't like the term the best life, because what do you have to measure that by? Because you're just living your life and you don't know what your best life looks like, but you do know what a good life looks like. And so I want people to live the good life. And so I thought the best way for me to do that is to help them to have a healthy body, so they can do that in a healthy body and healthy mind. And as I was going to school and I became a personal trainer and I became a lifestyle coach and I became, a health and nutrition coach, and I became a nutritionist and I became a functional medicine practitioner. I'm taking all these classes, and all the while I'm falling apart. My mentality's falling apart, my body's falling apart, I'm not eating well, I'm exercising far too much. And I'm like, I'm doing it.
That energy was stuck in there. It was asking to be moved.
That is true.
Because the body keeps score.
That
right?
is true.
So.
It is. But the second year, is when it really caught up with me. And really the only thing that kept me going at that point was that I was starting to take clients. And I'm so grateful if any of my first clients are to see this. Thank you. Because I was their client. I was falling apart on them, and I kept saying, I shouldn't be falling apart, And so that first year, it was really touch and go for me, because really the people who were coming to me for help helped me immensely. And so then I met my current husband, Stan, and I was working out of my home. And one of the things that I learned as a ER trauma nurse is that you have to make decisions based on data. You can't just make assumptions. You can't just assume that somebody doesn't have something or does have something based on what you can see. And so we were constantly lab tests and x-rays and ultrasounds and all that's available for medical. And so when I'm going to these classes and they're like, well, when they need their calories, you just kind of do this and kind of do that, and you can do this metric and this, and I'm like, no, there's got to be a way to have an absolute. And so I really dug deep into finding what kinds of tests, what kinds of machinery and equipment can I use to get those absolutes? So I had all this equipment in my home. I had a direct telemetry so I can get people's calories by capturing their carbon dioxide and finding out what their metabolism is. And I'm doing VO2 max to find out how many calories they burn while they exercise, which involves a professional grade treadmill and tubing and masks and computers. And I'm doing body fat and muscle mass analysis, and I'm doing all of this, and it's all in my front living room. So I meet Stan, and he comes in my home the first time, and he's like, "What you doing here?" and once he learned what I was doing, he thought it was really cool. But eventually, we got married. He moved in, and he said, "Why don't you start a real business?" I'm like, "This is a real business."
Can we have our living room back?
Could I sit down somewhere where it is not attached to a
Well, sure, sit down, plug your nose, start breathing.
I've done that.
Yes.
It's interesting.
It is. It is really
interesting.
interesting. And to go back to the data part, most people don't know it. And
Yeah.
so that's why she
Yeah.
would, and she's a researcher by nature.
Oh, for
I
sure.
So
tell
this
that.
is why it was like, okay, wait, why, how?
Right.
I need all the data so that I can
Yeah.
give you feedback. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's from your experience, right, as a trauma nurse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me all the tests, give me all the data, and then I can make
And then
a
I
plan
can make
for you.
better decisions.
love that.
So I took his advice and I set up in the basement of a doctor's office in Mill Creek, because we were living in Sandy at the time, and got started with the business, and took forever to figure out what to call it. And finally Stan said, "When people come to you, what do they want?" And I said, "Every single one of them comes to me and says, I just need more energy." And thus the name More Energy, because that's what everybody tells me they need is more energy. So that's what I named the company. And I had never run a company before, but I'd never gone to college when I was in high school before either, and that worked out
I was
okay.
gonna say, you sound like somebody who's just going to figure it out.
What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. So I started the company, and really it's based on getting those metrics, getting labs, getting everything, all of the information possible, so that we can make really good decisions, and that those decisions we can track the progress. I've had so many times when people come in and they've been working for a month and they've been so on, and they're feeling so good, but then they come in there, "I've only lost 2 pounds." But then we get them onto the machines and it's like, "Oh yeah, but you've lost 20 centimeters off your visceral fat, and you've gained 2 pounds of muscle, and you've lost 4 pounds of fat." Yeah, there's your 2 pounds,
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, wow." And you're like, and your water has shifted, and your whole body phase angle, which tells about the health of the cell, that's improved. And so then they're like, so instead of just having, "I've only lost 2 pounds, they've
There's so
now
much more
seen,
information.
Right, they're seeing, "Oh, I've got these things that
Less
are going all
inflammation.
in the right direction."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that piece has really helped with being able to correctly lead people down the right path.
And I also want to say that because of the mental state of people when they come in, also that the caring part of her. So researcher by nature,
Yeah.
caring by nature.
human intelligence
So then I've watched many therapy sessions because people want more energy. They want to feel good.
They want to live the good life.
They want to live the good life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I heard one of you guys talking about, I think it was you a couple of weeks ago, I don't know where we were, but you were saying how your business has changed because ChatGPT
Yes.
and those types of
Yeah.
AI tools that people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can get my own meal plan, I can get everything I need, I don't need more energy."
Exactly.
So how has
Yeah.
that affected and shifted your business?
So it's been a hard thing, and I myself have put in, because I'm like, okay, let's see what AI can do. And you can put in, I don't eat this and I don't eat this and I want to eat this and I want to eat, Mediterranean style and I want this many calories and I want my macros to be this, and give me a 7-day eating plan, and it does it beautifully. It truly does. And
but it lacks that human.
It does. And the other thing it lacks is, how do you know how many calories you need?
Yeah,
correct.
How do you know what your macros should be? Because everybody's macros are different according to how your body, we do DNA to tell you how your body deals with carbs and fats and proteins. So how do you know what you need to put in there?
Yeah.
There is a place for that, for sure. There's definitely a place for that. But one of the things, and the human piece. So one of the serendipitous things that have happened in my life is, again, I was in another situation where I was invited to hike across the Alps. Why not? I can hike across the Alps.
And so it begins.
Don't tell me I can't hike.
What's the worst that could happen?
I guess you guys say that a lot. As you're traveling the world, you're like,
Yes. Take this bus.
Yeah, they're like,
what's the worst that could happen?
right there?
Yeah.
Besides the cliff?
Right.
And this random bus we're getting in? At least we're together. If we're going to get chopped into little pieces, we won't be alone.
Exactly.
You guys are going down together. I can see this.
We are. Absolutely.
So anyway, it's 110 miles. We started in Germany. We went across Austria, Switzerland, into Italy. And it was a group of Americans. There was only 4 of us, or 5 of us from America. And then there were some Dutchmen and there were some Germans. And this gentleman wanted to put us all together and hike us across the Alps and like do a multicultural, share language and food. And I was like, I'm game, let's do it. So off we go, and turns out that I'm the oldest and there's only 3 women. And we're with these Dutchmen who are like in their 20s and 30s and they're mountain goating over the mountains. Yeah. And me and this little German gal, her name was Gabby, love her, love her, love her. She and I always took up the rear. She was also in her 50s. We're both in our 50s. We're hauling these backpacks. It wasn't hiking. It was backpacking. We're hauling these backpacks. And so they were yelling at us because they kept saying, you take a break, and you're taking a break, and you're taking a break. So we finally said, okay, code word, I want to take a picture, means that I need to take a break.
That's fair.
And so we'd be like, oh, I want to take a picture. And then they're like, take a picture, take a picture. Anyway, she and I were talking, and she was telling me her story. And she was telling me that for all her life, up until the end of her 40s, she had been sedentary, overweight, very unhealthy. And her husband was a hiker, and he finally said, I want to do this hike, and I want you to go with me. And so she spent an entire year getting ready to go on this hike. So this was the first thing she'd ever done in her life that was physical, and it was really hard for her. And she and I literally held hands as we walked across the Alps. I mean, she was helping me, I was helping her. There was one section that they actually left us and told us we couldn't go because we were too slow. They had too many miles and it was too technical.
They had to get to a point.
And so they just left us in the city and said, meet us in the next town, she was so upset. And I was like, Gabby, we're going to get a hotel with a spa. And, screw them, we're having fun. But her story really inspired me. And I was like, people need a carrot. They need somebody, because I don't know that either Gabby or I would have made it over that mountain without each other. Because everybody our husbands would go up and then they come back and check on us, and then they leave us and they come back and check on us. But the 2 of us together did it. And I thought, you know what? People they absolutely need the carrot. They need a reason. To be healthy is too vague. It's too big. It's too fleeting, because you can be healthy today and not healthy tomorrow. And so that's not a goal. You can't be healthy be your goal. And so she told me all about the Fisherman's Trail in Portugal. And I was like, well, I can take some women and hike the Fisherman's Trail in Portugal, even though this is the first time I've ever been outside of the United States.
I'm going to figure it out.
And so we just put out a thing and said, hey, we're going to go do the Fisherman's Trail in Portugal, and then we're going to bop over to Barcelona. Who wants to go with us? And we had 26 women sign up to do it.
And it is this very thing about women love the idea of doing something big.
Right.
But we're tentative.
Right.
We're a little bit more cautious. So if I get to hold your hand while I do it,
right.
And if there's a leader that's going to plan everything, this is another thing we have learned. Women are moms, wives, daughters,
grandmothers,
aunts,
employees, employers. I mean, there's
owners,
so many things,
and they're so used to doing all the planning.
Yes.
So
So
here
to be
we
able to show
we give
up
them an opportunity to just show up and
Magic.
they don't have to worry about one more detail.
Right. And while they're there, they're just them.
They're just themselves.
They're not the wife. They're not the mom. They're just themselves. And so when we went to Portugal, it was
epic,
hugely successful. Everybody was like, "What's the next trip?" And I hadn't even thought there was going to be another trip. I was like, "Oh well, this is going to be a one and done. You know, this is a lifetime thing. You know, bucket list thing. Check. This was awesome." But watching how those women, and we took 6 months prior, and they came every month, and we had exercise programs and everything to get them ready, and watching them go from, I don't think I can do this, to I'm ready, let's go. Seeing people who said, my biggest goal is to be able to get off the floor without assistance, or to walk to my car without getting winded, and then watching them hike a trail and see them get to the top of the mountain and go, I did it. I can't believe I did this. Never in my life did I think I could do this.
There was a moment.
Celebrate.
There was a moment at the end of that trail where it was almost reverent.
Yeah.
Where
only it was really loud, reverent.
So loud. But it was everybody standing there, and they're just looking at each other, and they're looking at what they just did, and it was almost 100 miles, and it was profound.
Yeah.
Don't you guys do hikes locally?
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
in that 6 months?
And that's part
to
of that.
prepare
Yes.
them for
To
that?
prepare them, yeah. And Portugal, a lot of that trail's sand. So we went out to the sand dunes and we did a hike out on the sand hills.
So can you imagine guys out on the sand dunes?
And we're all with our trekking poles, and people kept stopping and saying, "Do you guys need a ride?" And we're like, "Nope, we're training."
It was so much fun.
I love that.
But being able to get them together, and they formed lasting friendships. Okay, so we went to Portugal 5 years ago, and they're still getting together.
Yeah.
Sure.
We still have women that are getting together from that group, and still coming and doing and participating. And so once we got home and everybody's saying, what's next? Then Diana are sitting there going, well, I guess we have to do it again. I guess we have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such tough
Dang it. Where in the world should we go?
So we chose the Amalfi Coast in
Italy.
and then it just grew from there to where that has become a major part of More Energy. And then the shift that you were talking about, where we were saying, okay, this part of More Energy, where we're doing the evaluations and we're getting their eating plans and we're coaching them, that part of the company was declining. As this part of the company of these women who going on these trips and coming for lunch and learns, and that part was escalating. And finally, you have to get a point in business where you have to say, okay, for me, this part, that health coaching, that's like near and dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. I believe that to my core, and I want people to have that. But at some point you have to say, okay, this isn't what people want from me. Yeah. The thing is that I'm giving these ladies this all the time. They're always coming to me with their health problems. They're always sitting, we're always coming in, and we're sitting down and we're going over. They're like, I got these labs and my doctor said this stuff and I don't know what he's talking about. And we can talk through it and I can give them some pointers and some help. And so I had to realize that I don't have to do this formally, and I don't have to do it as the main part when this is what everybody's asking of me. This is where everybody wants me. And I love this part. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is nothing better than, than hiking the side of a mountain with all of these women and being in the middle and hearing all the laughter in front of me and hearing all the laughter behind me, and helping, being in the back and helping the one who says, I don't think I can do this. I had one experience that was so much fun. We had come about halfway, and we had halfway to go. And we had come up some pretty steep areas, and we had finally come to a flat place. And me and the lady that were kind of in the back, well, we were in the very back, she was finally like, oh, we have a flat area. And we went around the corner and boom, went straight back up. And she looked at me and she goes, I can't do this. She goes, I can't do another hill. I just can't do this. Well, we have a cliff straight up and a cliff straight down to the ocean. I said, okay.
What's the worst that could happen?
I said, all right. I said, let's just stand here for a minute. And I said, we have 4 choices. We can go straight up this cliff. We can go straight down that cliff. We can go back the way we came, or we can go forward. And I said, those are our only options. Mm-hmm. We don't have any others. And I'm pretty sure 1 and 2 are out.
Yeah.
So we basically have 2 options, and I'm going to let you make the call. I'll go back with you. You know what we've gone through. Mm-hmm. We have to go do that again.
Yeah.
Or we can just go forward. And she looked at me and she goes, I don't think I can do either. I said, okay, well then let's just stand here and I'm going to teach you the finer arts of pole dancing. So we shoved our poles, our hiking poles, into the dirt. I turned on some music and we did pole dancing. And I'm like, all right, are you ready to dance up this hill? And she's like, turn the music up. We turned the music up and up we went. And when she got to the top, when everybody was standing there, she came around the crest. Everybody was cheering and you made it, you made it. And she literally had, when we were at that point, she did not think that there was any possibility she was going to make it. But there was no other option. And we talked about how in life we get into those spots. We can't go back. We can't go up the cliff. We can't go down the cliff. The only thing we can do is go through it. And even when we look at it and say, I don't think I can make it, you have to. You don't
especially if you don't have to do it alone.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole impetus of life's experiences and just what you're sharing on these trips, right?
Exactly.
And
if you have someone, like you said, that's going to hold my hand and say,
Yes.
if you're in, I'm in.
Right.
Like we're going to
We can do this
together.
together.
do this.
Right.
So, and interestingly, so we've done Portugal, we did Italy, we did Ireland and Scotland, we've done Greece, we just got back from Croatia
And Slovenia.
and Slovenia, and which has just touched my heart more than anybody can imagine. But the feeling, so it's so fun to see after a trip the women wanting to say, okay, let's get together. We got to have a little reunion. And it's usually about a week and a half after we get home, so you're kind of getting back into the groove of your sleep patterns. And so this last Croatia, the reunion after the trip, just to sit and listen to the stories, the sisterhood, the love, the deep, deep connected love.
Yeah.
And then to have that woman hand Michelle the credit card that says, I don't even care
where you're going.
Where's next? I'm in.
Doesn't matter where we're going, keep me going. I want to go. And I've had women who've said the only reason I get up every morning to walk and go on my hikes in the weekend is so I can go on the next trip.
I can prepare.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's fulfilling that need for me to help people stay healthy. Is that now they have a purpose, they have a reason. And so we've created this, we call it the More Energy Club of Amazing Women, also known as just the club.
The club. It's just the club.
The club. The club. It's the club. But we created that as the container for that, for everything that we do. So the Lunch and Learns, where we talk about issues that women especially women who are aging, are really concerned about. We had one recently where we talked about skincare for aging skin. We learned so much, so everyone who went to that is now going to look like they're 20. So
sign me up.
It was amazing, actually.
But we've done, like pelvic floor and and hormones and gut health. And so we listen to what the women are talking about, and we try and bring in experts who can address those, because we're all dealing with the same thing. And when you're dealing with it alone, it's confusing, it's scary, it's lonely. You think you're the only one that's dealing with this problem, and then when you find out, hey, everybody's peeing a little when they laugh, then you're like, okay, well, how do we fix that? How do we? What can I do to fix that so that that's not happening to me? But then you can talk about it, and you have somebody else who's saying, oh, well, I tried this, and I tried this, and yeah, I tried this, don't do that. So, but it brings that connection, and I think in our world right now, that is really what we need, is connection. Yeah, we've got to be more closely connected to each other, and I think when you have those connections, and I think the other thing is when we go on those trips, we really get to see the true nature, the true person behind the mom, the grandma, the business executive. Yeah. They become their true selves. Mm-hmm. And there's a point in the trip, it takes a couple of days for everybody to just kind of lose the armor that they put on every single day, to lose all that. And there's a point on the trip where it's like, and this is my goal, is to get them to that place where they're like, damn, it feels good to be me. Mm-hmm. It is good to be in my own skin.
Who am I without all of those titles and roles?
Right.
Yeah.
And as you walk with somebody, in fact, there's a lot of therapists now that say they will only do therapy sessions while they're walking.
Interesting.
There is that cross brain where, and it does take, it's a practice. I think some people are figuring out how to lose the armor faster. Mm-hmm. Also, it when we get home, it also takes a few days to put it back on.
Yeah.
And little by little, it comes back.
But the more you're in that place of this is who I am and this is where I feel comfortable, then it's just like that's a powerful.
Right.
But as you walk with someone in that motion, I had somebody, I said to him one time, so what is your big goal for the year? And it took her probably a half an hour of walking. And then she just said the sentence. And then we both cried for an hour. So there is something magical, and you don't have to talk, but there's that back and flow of real thought.
Yeah. And I feel like that whenever we get everybody back together with our club activities, they walk through that door, and the longer they're with the group, the faster the armor gets left. And they walk into the room with all those women that they have been out of armor with for so much time, that it's very easy to shed that, and for an hour or 2 hours during the activity, they can be themselves again. They can just step right back into that. And those that go on our trips, I had one woman who told me the first trip, it took me about 6 days to get to where I could lose it. The second trip, about 4 days. She said this last trip, 24 hours and it was gone, and I was ready. And she said, because I learned how. Yeah. I learned how to be okay with showing people what was under the armor. I was okay with shedding that and just being who I am with this group of women. And so, and I've had people say, how do you take that many women? Isn't it all drama? Isn't it crazy? And it's like, no, it isn't, because, and we have a huge diversity of women. We have 70-year-olds, we have 40-year-olds, we have some with kids still at home, we have some that have never been married, we have some that are married and divorced, we have widows, we have those that are dealing with children who have a lot of issues, and and family issues and religious issues, and we have those that are very spiritual, and those who don't know where they stand, and yet we can all come together and just embrace all of it. And everybody feels safe to be who they are, and we just don't have the drama. We just don't. Everybody just.
In fact, that's a universal comment when we get home. Was my expectation for somebody that it's their first time. My expectation was that there was going to be drama, and the fact that there wasn't any.
Right.
And I think it's just it's a like-minded women.
Well, and you guys, I mean, it says a lot about you guys. You guys are already setting the standard, right? Like, you guys are showing up in love.
Yes.
There's no drama.
No.
Right.
Like, it's
right.
it's not even necessary here. It's already in every day of your life.
Right.
We're here to, like,
Right.
Okay, so
leave that behind.
one of my favorite well, I've got a lot of favorite Michelle moments, but so in Greece, at the end of the trip, we were flying out the next morning, and Paris had shut down, Amsterdam had shut down, and they were saying that we were going to have a 24-hour layover in Paris.
In New York.
In New York.
Yeah, it was New York. We were
Okay.
gonna,
And so
what are we going to do
we
while
went
we're in New York?
they canceled our flight totally, and then they're like, well, we might be able to get to New York or whatever, but
Okay, so Michelle says, I think it would be fun just to stay in Greece, Athens, one more day.
Oh, even
So
better.
we went, so she set up a war room down in the lobby of the hotel. We had 26 women sitting there, and there was Michelle on her computer, on the phone. And it was like literally watching a master at work. Women were afraid. I mean, some of the women, this was the first time that this had ever happened. Also, while she's doing that, she's also getting spa appointments for
everybody.
everybody.
So yeah, I'm like rearranging everybody's flights, getting a hotel for the night, and then making sure everybody had a massage because everybody was so. I'm like, okay, everybody's getting a spa day. We're staying in Athens.
It
We had
was
some
so
of the
much
best
fun.
shopping that day. We had so much fun.
It was
and
so
the next
fun.
day, everybody. Within 2 hours, everybody's like, oh, I've got a room, I've got a flight, I've got my spa, so I'm good.
I can
it's all
breathe.
good. I can breathe. I
Well,
can
and
now.
also,
I can have fun.
it would have been disastrous if you would have been alone by yourself.
Oh,
doing
for
it.
sure.
But we were all together, and now we have the
Everything we
commander in
need.
chief who is like, boom, 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 we got this. Your spa appointment's at noon.
Do you plan the flights too? I know you
Not
do the
usually.
hotels, but
No,
you just tell
usually
them what your
because-
flight is, and then
Yes,
they make
because
their own.
people want their own
I agree.
miles
Rewards.
and their
Yeah.
upgrades. And if
We
I
actually
do it,
did that
nobody
once.
gets their upgrades.
For
They don't
sure.
get their
Yeah.
miles.
Right.
So yeah,
We did it the first
That's
time
how I would do it,
at the
too.
first trip to
we
Portugal.
did it, and
And you're
and
like,
I
we won't do
said
that
never
again.
again.
Never again.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's next?
For me right now, my focus is really on building the women's club. Even if women don't travel and they don't want to travel, being in the club gives them that they can participate in all our other activities, the hikes, the bikes. We have an appointment. We've got a whole spa booked out for facials, so we'll have like 12 people can go for facials. We do all kinds of different activities. We bring in experts to speak. We're working on. We'd like to get enough people to do some group coaching with health challenges and be able to get them more involved in their health and their aging, because we don't want people aging gracefully. We want to have them aging powerfully and fiercely and getting stronger and more powerful as they age, and not just accepting the decline, but really, fighting against that. So that's our next thing.
And our next hike, we're going to do the Three Sisters up in the Brighton area. We're going to do Horsetail. We're going to do the loop from Grove Creek to Battle Creek.
Those are all
behind the
coming
G.
up.
So,
So they can do that as part of the club.
Yes, and we organize all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, they
can they
just
do
show
it
up
if
at
they're
the
not in the
trailhead.
club? Or is
Yeah.
this part of the?
Yeah.
We
Because
want
the
them to
club's
be part
kind
of
of
the
new,
club.
right?
Well,
Yeah, that's
and you've
part
been
of
doing the
new-
hikes,
we've-
but the
yeah.
club is the way to go because
Right,
they're getting
right.
all these
And the other
benefits.
The other benefit of being in the club is that they get first dibs on the
On the
trips.
trips.
Our last trip sold out. Our last women's trip sold out in 2 weeks, and we had about 13 women who didn't get to go because we were sold out. And so, being in the club, you get first dibs. So you get, we're like the first right of refusal type
and
thing.
And the price of the club is very affordable.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we said
$50
it's $50 a month.
Or if you want to just pay annually, it's $420, which basically gives you like 3 months for free.
Yeah.
And if you go on a trip with us and you're in the club, the next time you go on a trip, you get $300 off, which basically pays for your club fee.
but and in
That's
that
amazing.
you get
What a
the
great value.
monthly lunch and learn, and the topics are always very good, and the food is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we're always looking
We're
for
always looking
really
for fun things
really
to
fun things, and so there's discounts.
Well, like
to
you were
that.
saying yesterday, that you're having a foot zoner come in. So those things just come
Yeah.
from the conversation and saying, oh my
Right.
gosh, I had this great foot zone. You should
Yeah.
all do it. Okay, then let's.
Yeah. So we just
exactly
said,
right.
okay, she's coming in and make your appointments and
Cool.
come in and do it. Yeah. So, yeah, our goal is really to build that community of women so that women have a place where they feel like they can shed that armor, that they can be themselves, that they can age fiercely and powerfully together with others.
I love that.
Because
the
it's
up-
hard to do it by yourself.
The upcoming trips, we're going to do the south side of Portugal and Spain and Morocco. Another one is actually in September, she's taken a group on bikes, the south of France.
Yeah, if anybody
Oh,
wants to
fun.
go to the south of France on a bike, I still have spots.
And then she's also got Japan, and we're going to do Scandinavia. We're going to do, so there's a really cool thing, and it's the Christmas, it's literally cities in Europe that dress up for Christmas.
Oh,
The
amazing.
Christmas markets.
So cool.
And
Yeah,
so
and
There's
that
a
one's gonna
Christmas
be-
market in Germany too, right?
Yeah,
Yes, so
so
that's on it.
the Christmas markets is a no hike, all shop, all sightsee trip. It's going to be in 2027, and we'll be
Christmas.
visiting Budapest, Prague, Vienna, and Berlin.
Amazing.
So, yeah, all train travel. We're
Yeah.
going to be Europeans.
That sounds amazing. I love that.
So, yeah.
anyway,
That sounds amazing.
Michelle, thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, I love it. You know, I always say, people say, how's the business? And I said, doesn't matter how the business is, I'm having fun.
Yeah. Wow.
And changing lives.
Yes. So just one final question, because you know you're so good at like bringing people together and connecting, which is what Reunion's all about. And you've been a
Yes.
member since the very beginning.
I have, and I love Reunion. The quality of people that are there is just fantastic. Every time I go, I walk away with new insight and new connections. I've had great conversations, so I really do love Reunion.
Well, we
It's a
love
great
having
one.
you in the room. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Reunion Podcast. We hope you're walking away with fresh insights, real stories, and that extra spark to keep building traction, nourishing your growth, and thriving big. If you've loved this conversation, hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to join the movement, come sit at our table and be featured as a guest and share your story. Visit thrivewithreunion.com and stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. You'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up, stay connected, and let's thrive together.